Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Little Reader's house. I'm the Little Reader, and you are in my house, and I'm so happy to have you. Can I just say, if you're finding this when this video was posted within a few weeks or even months of that, then you know it has been some wild energy up in this third dimensional reality. So, what I've been channeling for the collective and for myself personally are immensely quick shifts that come with like some brutal emotional fallout, ups and downs, kind of emotions all over the place, a wide breadth of different types of thoughts, a lot of creative inspirations, some rapid, unexpected change seemingly coming out of nowhere. It's just been wild times. So if you're in it and you're here and you're with me and you're surviving and even thriving, which we always intend to move toward here in the Little Reader's house, then I'm so glad to have you. And if you're an alien or extra dimensional being tuning in from another dimension, I'm happy to have you too. Everyone is welcome here. So today, and you must have seen that title, we're talking about that didn't go as planned. Now what? It's kind of just been the vibe lately. So I've got 3 beautiful crews here and 3 pre-shuffled energy checks. I've got my beautiful comic crew, my beautiful heart crew, and my beautiful father crew. If you're coming from my heartbroken and lonely video that was posted most recently, you'll recognize the heart crew, and maybe we're even going to have a continued story here. I'm really excited to see because I haven't looked at the pre-shuffled cards yet. We'll go through that together. But whatever this story turns out to be for any of my crews, I am here holding your hand, holding your soul, obviously your spiritual hand, with my hand, and letting you know that above all, you deserve love. You are so worthy of love above all else. So let's introduce our crews, and then we'll talk a little bit about the structure of today's video, and then we're going in, baby. Starting with my beautiful comic crew, we've got this little tabby cat, but then the eyes look strangely human underneath that. And then we've got what looks like a little tear coming down, but a party hat, which is like, whoa, that's kind of conflicting in some ways. There's a lot of nuance here. We've got wide polarities that are all being tied in with the colors, but then the figure underneath the cat mask is black and white. This would be my beautiful comic crew. And we will do an energy check if you're drawn to this card to ensure that it is the right crew for you. Then I've got my beautiful heart crew. And here we see 2 figures in a canoe, canoeing across the lake. We see 2, it looks like rings. It could be like the rings of a planet. They're very fluorescent, so they don't look like metal rings, like jewelry. But those 2 are interwoven, almost like infinity. And then we've got this wreath in black and white and this pink mist surrounding. That's my beautiful heart crew. Then we've got my father crew. And here we have a very interesting tree. The tree looks complete, but there's actually a line drawn down the middle, and on the left-hand side of the card, we see an actual tree in silhouette. And on the right-hand side of the card, we see like an inverted silhouette of a tree in pure white, which is framed, kind of etched out by a wreath or some thatched texture on the right-hand side. We also have an upside-down coin with a downward-facing pyramid, which interestingly symbolizes yin energy, although the father as an archetype symbolizes yin or yang energy. And then on the far left, behind this rainbow sky, which is missing red, we have a purple patch and what looks like a planet and a star. And that is our father card. So if you're resonating here, you're going to be part of the father crew. Now, let's talk a little bit about our structure for the reading as you contemplate and feel into whatever crew you're drawn to most. If you prefer numbers, you can also think of our comic crew as number 1, heart crew as number 2, and father crew as number 3. So our little agenda for the day is we're going to go through an energy check in which we'll look at what you're feeling right now. Then we're going to use the tarot to look at why didn't that go as planned? Why did whatever we hoped for or whatever plan we executed crash and burn or just fail to launch? And we might look at, should we try again? Depending on what the cards show us. Should we attempt this again, or should we take a new tact, or should we abandon ship altogether? We'll look at all of that. In the case of very specific things like people or relationships, that kind of information can be helpful, I think, just to suss out, like, is it me, or is it the situation, or is it them, or a combination of all factors? And then finally, we'll look at what now? What's next? What's the creative block that we might be individually dealing with? What archetype of the animals can we embody, like an animal spirit that brings the energy that would help us to bust through this block? What affirmation can we use, or affirmations plural? And finally, any advice directly from spirit for us to consider, to feel on, to employ. And that's where we're going with this, beautiful soul. So I trust that you've selected the crew that resonates with you, and I cannot wait to see you there. Catch you in just a second. Literally, probably just 1 second. Hello, my beautiful comic crew, and welcome to your reading about, oops, that didn't go as planned. What now? I have laid out your pre-shuffled oracle cards, and we've got some representing what you were seeking or hoping to achieve, what you're learning, and the energy that you're integrating as a result of this situation, and maybe what went wrong and what new version of yourself you're stepping into as a result of this. And this is all part of your energy check. So I'm going to use these cards and energies to intuit what may have happened, or at least the feeling that's resulting as a result. Say that better, I dare you. What is resulting as a result? You know, we love English here. So my beautiful comic crew, the first thing that I see is that you are a spiritual individual. Whether you identify traditionally as someone with a spiritual practice that involves meditation, prayer, church attending, or temple attending, or perhaps you have an alternative sort of spiritual practice. This could involve exercising, long walks, conversations with other people. Whatever it is, you bring a sense of presence and mindfulness into your day-to-day life. So I suspect that you have an edge on this situation, given that you've already got some kind of spiritual practice going on. The fact that we have the priest here with peace and alignment suggests that the situation or what that thing you're trying to achieve is a sort of spiritual leveling up. And that could involve, I'm hearing, the assimilation of new information, meaning that you have either digested and learned some info that you tried to share with others, or you are trying to assimilate this new information. Maybe it was a lesson, maybe it was a class, maybe it was some self-study that you did, and you had this aha moment and you said, oh my gosh, I've got it. I understand something now. But you're finding that this is difficult to share with other people. I'm hearing, oh my goodness, I walk a lonely road, the saddest road that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but I walk alone. Something to that effect. Boulevard of Broken Dreams. That is what it is called. It feels like this boulevard of broken dreams that you're walking on involves a lot of growth for you, but at the cost of being lonely. I see a single dove here with an egg, a single figure in the comic with a tear, and this desire for community in the Enoki Align card, which is a type of mushroom. It is to me like you're trying to find your tribe or find your people. So you may have attempted to share a part of yourself, share some information, share a talent, share some skill. Perhaps if we dive a little bit deeper even, you may have provided what we call a bid. I believe this is a communications term, like a bid for attention or a bid for connection by saying, look, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to put myself out there and share who I am. And you selected a person or a group of people to do that with. And it just seems like they kind of flew away. They didn't get it. Maybe it was done in a non-confrontational manner, but it just didn't resonate. I don't see signs of conflict here. Instead, I see offerings being made and then either gently pushed aside or dismissed, or just this kind of inability, this feeling like I didn't align. And of course, because I have the beautiful comic card here, this could be as literal as you went to do your stand-up routine on open mic night and there just weren't as many laughs in the room as you and I hope for. You know what I'm saying? Now, had I been there, I would have been hollering. But I'm in the little reader's house, a world away. Sometimes we find our tribe and our own crew through technology and through these long distances, you could say, like dimensions apart. But in the real world, it does in fact feel like we're walking a lonely road sometime. And I see that a little bit with the priest card here. The priest as an archetype already walks a lonely road in that a priest is expected to find complete and utter fulfillment through their connection with the divine. And I think you, my beautiful comic crew, have cultivated on this lonely journey a connection to the divine. But you're finding that it's not totally sufficient. You may also be in a place where you feel like you want to convince yourself that it is sufficient. Like, I don't need them. You know, no one gets it because no one gets, God. No one gets spirituality the way I do. No one sees the fifth dimension is coming down on us and understanding the next steps. And my beautiful comic crew, you're not wrong. It's a small select group that is very immersed in this world. That being said, if you feel like the connection to the divine isn't sufficiently filling your heart right now, then you're in exactly the right place with my comic crew. And we're going to talk to the tarot and see what it has to say about this. But there's always a good reason for your heart's desires and for wanting this community and to want to align with a certain group or any group, just anyone, to find our people. It's for a good reason. So don't lose hope, beautiful soul. Stay right here, grounded, take some deep breaths, have a sip of water, and let's get some more information. I'm feeling like for you, my beautiful comic crew, we're going to use the Mushroom Hunters Tarot today. So I'm going to pop your energy check off to the side. And we're going to look at why didn't that go as planned? Why didn't that information sharing or that bid for attention or that bid for community go as planned? What happened? Show us, Spirit. Tell us the story of my beautiful comic crew. And while we're talking about that story, I know I say it a lot, but you, beautiful soul, are worthy of love above all else. You deserve people who recognize you and value you for what you bring to the table. You deserve a soul family and tribe that gets you. And that is on its way as you learn to get yourself more and more. You won't help yourself but to align with the right folks. So I'm rooting for you. Spirit, why didn't that go as planned? Tell me the story. And you, my beautiful comic crew, can also tell me the story in the comics. Oh my goodness. Are you an author? Are you a designer? Do you draw? Did you offer creative work and somebody just didn't get it? Whatever it is, you can tell me the story too. Down in the comments. Whoa, we're taking them. They're like, hey, we're talking and we're listening. The Empress in reverse. So it very well could have been, and Temperance upright. It very well could have been a creative endeavor. So we've got the Page of Cups upright. We've got the Tower upright. We've got the Moon in reverse. We've got the Four of Cups upright. We've got the Queen of Pentacles upright. We've got the Empress in reverse, and we've got Temperance upright. So let's take a moment and see what story the tarot is telling us. The very first thing that I see, my beautiful comic crew, is that you put time, love, and attention into this thing. You nourished it, you nurtured it. This wasn't some kind of off the cuff, I'm just doing this, blurting it. Blurting is if it was verbally expressed. And it could have been verbally expressed, but because of the amount of earth energy I'm getting from this spread, I feel like this was almost like a craft. It could have been, yes, creative, like a book. If it was a monologue or it was something having to do with the spoken word, I have a feeling it was written down first, or at least worked over and over again in your mind. It also could have been like a piece of art, something pottery or sculpture. It could have been something very practical. It could have been an invention or a proposal. For a very select few, it could have been something having to do with their career or school, a project or a job interview where you were actually presenting your very self. But it's something that you did for time. You watched it happen, and you paid very close attention to the growth of this. It came from your heart. And that is why this stings so much, my beautiful comic crew. And I can see you have a commendable amount of peace with what's happened. I don't see that you're necessarily agonizing, especially with this Temperance card here at the end of your journey. I don't get the sense that you've been agonizing about this. It was a swift blow and a swift rejection. You didn't have to wait very long to see that this wasn't resonating. And although you tried to reveal and you tried to share and show something pretty profound, there may have been some kind of deep spiritual truth or just deeper emotional meaning and significance behind what you were trying to show. You pulled from your very subconscious mind for this one. It didn't resonate because people aren't ready to receive. What Spirit is showing me here is that the depth to which you traveled and the effort which you put into this bid, we're going to call it a bid, an offering of either art, skill, time, materials. It didn't work out because people aren't ready to receive this yet. It went to their head instead of to their heart. It was something that you created with your heart, but instead it was received through their mind. For whatever reason, this audience was not the right audience. It wasn't the person, place, or thing that is aligned for what you uniquely have to offer. Here we see this moon is upside down, this earth, this mushroom, which looks like it could be a giant tree. And I'm sure that's the wisdom of what is being illustrated here, is you're like, is that a tree or a mushroom? People didn't even know what it was. They didn't know how to take it. They didn't know how to receive it. I'm hearing like too much, too soon. But I know for you, my beautiful comic crew, it wasn't too soon. Because you went through all the effort of internalizing, understanding, aligning, making sense of the feelings and the emotions that went into this offering. But for others, And it may have been the delivery, my beautiful comic crew. It may have been the delivery was such that it didn't afford people the same amount of time to slowly flow through this, to slowly. I was having a conversation with a friend the other night, and he was explaining that he prefers television shows that span multiple episodes and seasons to to a movie, a single movie, because the time, and if you haven't watched our time reading yet that came out 2 videos ago, it may be worth checking out to see what messages from time are there for you, because time is relevant to this situation. My friend said there's not enough time in a film, in his opinion, to assimilate the richness of a story, the richness of characters, and to answer all of the questions that he has. And here we see that with the moon and the tower and the 4 of Cups. It's like it came on too quickly. It didn't allow for us to pull out of the subconscious mind and the hearts of our audience what needs to be pulled. There wasn't enough investment. And we see that with the Queen of Pentacles, because you, my beautiful comic crew, invested in your project, and you invested in yourself, and you invested in the preparation. But the little tiny misalignment here was the execution didn't have enough time. And it would have been with much more time that our audience would be able to recognize the value in what you have to offer. Now, you know your unique situation, and you know what this offering was, and you know if it was to a person, to a broader audience, to a potential employer, to a potential love interest, to the world at large, to social media. It's simply a misalignment or an incompatibility in the depth at which you had to explore this and prepare it and create it versus the speed and the amount of time that people had to receive it. That's where our incompatibility was. So we see the Queen of Pentacles, she's a slow-moving queen. And when she reaps her harvest, oh, it's lush. And she knows how to wait. And she knows how to do things slowly. And so do you. But she also knows how to present things slowly. So here the cards are letting us know that this slow build to the Empress energy is so valuable, because the Empress can be seen as all of our queens combined. We also see with this Empress card, and I've grown these pink oyster mushrooms before, by the way, incredible experience. I like growing mushrooms, I recommend it. Here we see this verdant forest with water. We see, I believe that's the sign for female in a heart carved onto a tree. Stars in the sky, although the sky is yellow, so what an interesting time of day. But we have this in reverse. And as I look at it, in reverse, it seems like too much is going on, too much. Whereas this Temperance card, a really similar illustration, albeit mirrored. We have a landscape, we have a landscape. We have a tree, we have a tree. We have the mushrooms, we have the water. Here it's too much going on at once, and because of the amount of movement, it's almost chaotic in its reversed image. I look at this and the energy that I get from it reminds me of getting off of a roller coaster and feeling dizzy, or at the point in a loop on a roller coaster, opening my eyes and making myself unsettled because the whole world is on its head. It's just too much overstimulation. But with the Temperance card, and I wonder how it would look in reverse, kind of similar, but we have it upright here. And it's just this peaceful feeling. Everything in its place. Everything's relaxed. Temperance itself speaks to balancing our own internal and external systems, creating harmony between our conscious and subconscious minds. So for my beautiful comic crew, something to consider here may be, am I doing a lot in my mind and my heart, but not doing a lot in my actions? And if I am doing an equal amount in both on paper, am I putting the same amount of energy into both? Because sometimes, especially as creatives and romantics and spiritual people, and you give me this intensely talented, creative essence, my beautiful comic crew, I would love to see your creations, whatever they may be. Feel free to advertise yourself down below. You got an ebook, I want to see it. You got an Instagram account, I'd like to peep it, because you have golden nuggets to offer. But you dive so deep, my beautiful comic crew, whereas Spirit is advising to try things a little bit more incrementally. So instead of releasing the whole book at once, try some chapters first. Instead of releasing the whole stand-up comedy routine at once, try out small snippets over time instead, on a test audience maybe. Instead of producing the entire piece of art at once and then dropping it without explanation and hoping people understand, consider breaking it down and just being a little more proactive at earlier stages in the process. Because otherwise, my beautiful comic crew, we're liable to get our heart broken. And I have been right here with you, so you and I can cuddle up like cats on one of those cat trees and just swat our paws at each other, because I feel this. Sometimes we invest so much, but like all by ourselves. And Spirit's saying there are opportunities to bring other people in the process earlier and sooner, and make it more, I'm about to say this, participatory? I'm not certain that that's a word. But to make it more collaborative in a way, simply by bringing people in earlier on, will be a game changer for you. Because it's not your art or your creations or your bid for community and attention that's the issue, my beautiful comic crew. And it certainly is not you. Before we go any further, there is no fatal flaw in you. There is no issue in you. This was simply a matter of incompatibility between the effort and the time and the experience of the creation, or the thinking behind the proposal, or the, if this has to do with a relationship, the amount that was experienced by just you on your own that wasn't necessarily shared, not what you bring to the table as a whole. So now let's get a question from, and I'm already feeling it with these cards here, but I'd like to know from Spirit, should you try this again? Yes or no? And I also want to know what went well here. So with the Temperance card, I feel like by adding balance, we're already getting a little piece of advice, which is by adding balance to your process or to your relationship or to whatever it is that you are attempting to achieve here, you will experience more success. So I do believe initially that you should try this again, yes. But there may be another way to say that, and with more info. And I want to see what you did well too, my beautiful comic crew. Because your heart, oh, it's big, it's bold. Your mind too is so beautifully integrated into your heart. The way you both feel, you feel thoughts. And that is such a gift. You feel thoughts. And I can feel you doing it right now, which is incredible. What a talent and what a gift. What's inside of you is a game changer for the world. So please don't be discouraged. Please be encouraged and inspired by your own talents. The way they're received was not, again, an issue of the talent. It was merely an issue of the execution. And if this was producing knowledge or giving a speech or sharing something with somebody, again, it was not the heart in the words. It was not the thought that was put into the words. It was simply the sheer volume and intensity. It's just too much for that occasion. So Spirit. Whoa, should my beautiful comic crew attempt this again? This same idea or this same thing. My comic crew knows what we're talking about. It's going to be a little different for everyone in this general reading. Should they attempt it again? And what did they do wonderfully well in their process? Oh yeah, Spirit's like, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Okay. Should they attempt it again? Ooh, Page of Pentacles in reverse. So, you put your heart into it. You worked hard on this. Yes, we know that. Oh, yes. The Empress back again in her reverse position. And the King of Cups. So you put your heart into this. You put your soul into this. You put your effort into this. Spirit commends you on every step, my beautiful comic crew, that you took. You came at it with an emotional perspective and a doing perspective. You built, you invested your time, you paid attention to detail. You employed all of your creative abilities and you offered it openly. Bravely, I'm hearing, courageously. Should you try it again? With Page of Pentacle in reverse, this is not a normal page. This is a naked baby page, which as I say that out loud, I just realized we're just going to kind of cover something real quick as I bring this closer to the camera. This is a naked baby page. So in reverse, we would normally see the naked baby page as absolutely yes. Go forward with this. Go in with the innocence of a child. Almost in this energy of this deck, like the Fool, you know? But here, because we have it in reverse, I'm hearing yes, try this again, but do so with a measured, slightly more objective, and like we talked about before, more incremental approach. Share more and communicate more throughout the process. Don't just lay it on someone or something at the very end. Now, if you only have one opportunity to share this thing with a certain audience, try bringing in another audience along the way. For example, if it's a job interview, you only have one opportunity to do that feasibly. I mean, sometimes depending on the job and what the industry is, you might have like 4 opportunities. They might put you through all kinds of things. If that's the case and you get multiple opportunities, share as much as you can and be upfront early on in the process instead of holding all the good stuff for just once. But if it's a single job interview, for instance, or a single conversation that you have the ability to have, bring other people in along the way, even if they're not employed at this company. You can ask friends and mentors, what do you think of my resume? What do you think of my cover letter? If it's a single conversation you want to have with somebody, bring in another friend and say, look, I have the idea to do X. What do you think about X? The idea here, my beautiful comic crew, is about having measured energy. And it kind of gets back to that Temperance card that we saw before. Because I see you have the emotional aspect completely down. The emotional intensity is here, and the amount of work that was put in, the meticulous nature of it, is here. But we don't want to run in like a crazy baby. And I'm not saying this baby is crazy. This baby looks pretty mellow. It's got a lot of hair for a baby, though. Must be a toddler. But yeah, we don't want to run in like a crazy toddler, crazy naked toddler, to be specific. Instead, we want the same level of enthusiasm and the same presentation. See how this toddler is still showing this mushroom with excitement. Like, hey, look at my little mushroom. But we want to do it in a little bit of a more measured fashion. So a little bit more with this King of Cups energy, this maturity, in the execution piece. Because my beautiful comic crew, you have such deep wisdom. You have such incredible spiritual insights. And the world, I promise you, there are segments of the population who are ready to receive what you have to offer. It's simply going to be about raising your standard for how you make that offering. Raise your standard for how you make that offering. Do it in a measured, thoughtful, slow, incremental way, and you will experience so much success. Beautiful, my beautiful comic crew. So we'll go into the last segment of this reading for today, and we will look at, is there a creative block? If so, what is it? We will look at what can you embody to experience more success right now and more alignment right now with whatever it is you're working on. What affirmation and what advice will build you up and make your heart sing, my beautiful comic crew. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being bold and courageous to ask this question too. What a thing to confidently investigate how you can improve your process, how you can move forward after a disappointment. Your heart is, I keep going back to your heart. I'm all about the heart. For those who were part of my heart crew in our last reading, Heartbroken and Alone, I got big love for the heart. So I'm just wanting to compliment you on yours, because hearts are what I use to channel. Hearts are what I feel. They're my little radio receivers and transmitters. And yours is beautiful to receive from, my comic crew. So Spirit, any spiritual, energetic, or creative blocks coming through here for my comic crew, or creative advice and insights? What is the animal archetype energy that my beautiful comic crew can embody to experience more alignment in every aspect of their life, including this? But after a disappointment, we want to know how we can boost. And then what affirmation to my beautiful comic crew apply to their heart like a balm to soothe them, build them up. Build me up, buttercup baby. But we're not breaking anyone down. We're just building up and up and up and up and up. What's the affirmation for my beautiful comic crew? I love it. And then finally, advice for my beautiful comic crew. Please, Spirit, make sure we have this in the right direction. Yes, we do. Advice for my beautiful comic crew. I don't know if you're a stand-up comedian. You might be. And if you are, you know what to do. You know? Comment section. Put it down there. That's what to do in case you didn't know. But I keep hearing like funny little jokes in my head. And I guess because my own mind is making them, they're not that great. But it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's a little reader thing. But it's making me giggle nonetheless. That is the effect of you. So let's take a look at alchemy. This is the creative advice that Spirit has for you. The unknown meets the practical, real world skills and knowledge. Throw in luck and devotion to authentic creations. Let me sit with this for a moment, because I don't even know if I just read in the English language. The unknown meets the practical. Well, that's you with your subconscious mind. Real world skills and knowledge. We know you have those because I saw it in all the pentacles. So you have the skill. Throw in luck and devotion to authentic creations. So what I'm hearing here, my beautiful comic crew, is that you have what it takes. You have the skill. You have the knowledge. A little luck and devotion, and you're going to create this authentic work that resonates with exactly who we want it to resonate with, which is incredible. It's a just keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop. Be devoted. Alchemize. And in the traditional alchemy, we have turning base metals into gold. Base metals, I think, are not inherently valuable. I'm thinking like nickel. Maybe copper. I'm not sure. I actually like copper, but I don't know where it ranks on the metal valuable scale. In alchemy, we take a base metal that doesn't have too much value and turn it into one of the most valuable monetarily metals available, which is gold. So you've already got the skills and the know how to do that, my beautiful comic crew. It's just a matter of continuing to work at it. And try again. The Panther. If I ever heard anything that was about aggressively trying again, it would be Panther energy. And so here is something of note. We've got a black and white image on our Panther card, but green and yellow eyes. So steps number 1 is to combine the energy of your heart chakra with your solar plexus chakra. This means an equal amount of feeling and doing. This goes back to that incremental energy. I see all the feelings and I see the creation of whatever this offering is that we're offering to the world and our community. But we need to meld that for the most effective result with powerful doing, powerful action taking, both related to the project and unrelated to the project. So the Panther is a night creature, and I suspect that you might create quite a bit at night too. You might even be a night owl, awake for long hours, pondering and philosophizing in the wee hours of the night, often alone. The Panther, last time I checked, did not work in a group when it hunts. It's like solo. So I think you've already got a lot of this going on, my beautiful comic crew. Look also into the motives of your own subconscious mind. As you do this spiritual work and as you assimilate this knowledge and as you walk your road, which may feel like a long and lonely road, also look into your own mind and your own heart. Look at your own shadows. This Panther tells me a little bit of shadow work. Is there any aggression that is coming out in these offerings? Is there any assistance or any need for validation? And when that's not provided, it's like, it's more painful than it would have been had we had a talk with ourselves and been like, look, I am valid. I have amazing things to offer. Irrespective of the reaction that I get, I know who I am and I know what I provide. That's the energy that Spirit wants you to step into. So know that rejections will come. Alchemize in spite of that. Be the magician in spite of that. And then look into your own subconscious, your own heart, into your own shadows, and validate yourself where there is a need for others to validate. That need will always be there as long as we're in human form. It's actually part of our innate programming to build community and to love one another, collaborate with one another. So that is not any kind of failing, my beautiful comic crew. But we want to ensure that beyond that innate desire for validation and recognition, there isn't a space that is unfilled currently needing extra validation. We want to pour into that space ourselves. And I can see you have the power to do it. You are deep. You see things deeply and clearly. So now we turn that spotlight back on you and we develop these nocturnal eyes where we're seeing the dark of ourselves. What a powerful thing is that? Your affirmation, my beautiful comic crew, it couldn't have happened any other way. It couldn't have happened any other way. And the purpose of this affirmation is growing beyond guilt. Growing beyond guilt. It couldn't have happened any other way. Advice from Spirit, unbound, and mirror. So this mirror goes with this Panther. Who or what is triggering you? This is about looking into our own subconscious and saying, hey, who or what is triggering me? Why did I feel like I got a slap in the face when I did a good thing? Oh my goodness. I'm laughing because this reminds me of myself a lot lately. And I think it's a collective energy, my beautiful comic crew, where the last remnants of expectation and expecting and desiring people to respond to us and our creations a certain way are really falling off. But as those things fall off, they can have some powerful last few triggers that we want to look at, love into, acknowledge that it couldn't have happened any other way, and then free ourselves. With this unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives, it tells me, my beautiful comic crew, to superpower, super strengthen your success, your ability to bid for attention and love and validation and get it is going to be significantly increased by releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. This could also be generational curses. This could be habits and routines that we've been clinging on to. Any parts of our life that we do by rote, which means we do them because we've always done them that way, and that's what we needed to survive. But now, my beautiful comic crew, Spirit is saying, your creation has turned into healing, and it's turned into an opportunity to integrate so many things, release so many things that have maybe haunted you or your family line for generations, and set yourself free. And then you're going to be amazed at where you go, my beautiful comic crew. You won't even recognize yourself, but in the best way. You'll recognize that which makes you incredible, which has always been there and always will be there, and you'll leave behind the rest. With this unbound and this mirror, you may find incredible experiences speaking with a coach or a therapist or a trained individual who isn't just rehashing past painful events, but instead, in the example of cognitive behavioral therapy, helps you to strategize new ways of doing things. And back in the day, which wasn't that long ago, a couple of years ago when I was in college, the research was saying that cognitive behavioral therapy could change neural pathways and could create this amazing interrupt in the brain that allows this opportunity to fundamentally change our behaviors, our routines, our patterns, and our thoughts. That's just a small plug for CBT because I've also done it and loved it. That being said, I'm not a doctor. I'm just the little reader. And I am giving you all the love I got, my beautiful comic crew. You will thrive. You will try again and succeed. You will become everything that you're dreaming of and more. Why? Because you're already an infinitely powerful being with so many resources available at your hands, so much community just waiting to find you. All that love you have to give, pour it into yourself, try again, and be amazed at the results. I believe in you, and I'm sending you all the love I've got, my beautiful comic crew. Until next time, take very good care. Bye for now. Hello, my beautiful heart crew, and welcome to your So That Didn't Go As Planned, What Now reading. I am so happy to have you here. I am so intrigued to see if there is any carryover from my beautiful heart crew from my most recent reading, which was Heartbroken and Alone, We Need to Talk. It will be amazing to see if there's any carryover, but I don't know because I haven't seen your energy check yet. So let's get into it and see what you're feeling, what you're learning, what happened, and what's next. I've got these guys pre-shuffled. So let's see. Oh, we've got Scribe. We've got Turkey Tail, Block. And we've got a Change in the Wind. All right, my beautiful heart crew. So let me take a moment to feel into this and see what happened. Interesting theme about writing or the written word or communication here. There is not a lick of blue on any of these cards. Literally, like I could not have more perfectly tried to eliminate blue. from this reading if I had put effort into doing so. Wait a second. Am I crazy? A little bit. There's blue right here. I just can't. What is that purple? I'm not sure, but either way, it plays into my intuitive thesis, which is that there is a heart chakra thing going on here. And we will investigate more of that when we get into the tarot. But here is what wait, did I just say heart chakra or throat chakra? Wow. Let's say both. Let's say because of the green and because of the absence of blue, but then the strange indigo popping up here and a little bit of, is that blue right here? You have to be the judge. You let me know in the comments below if you see blue, if you saw blue, if blue stood out to you. Now I'm seeing, like, to me this looks like green though. Change in the wind. Nevertheless, I'm clinging even harder to my thesis because it's just what wants to come out. So let's dive right in. Heart and throat chakra is what I'm sensing here. Communication is what I'm sensing here. I am sensing for your energy check, my beautiful heart crew, that a change was attempted to be made either through verbal or written communication or through an internal processing of a feeling. Because I've got the heart and I see pinks and greens, so I see heart chakra energy is present. I sense that you're feeling very intensely, my heart crew, and you wanted to make this known, and what you attempted to do was communicate that somehow. But it was blocked. What you wanted and what you were aiming for was a change in a situation. Now, because this is a general reading, you know the rules, my beautiful heart crew. I don't make them, I just play by them. That in a general reading, there are so many possibilities for what this could have been, what this change was. But we have a zebra here, and I'm sure you've heard a zebra can't change its stripes. Interestingly, the turkey tail block card is also striped. And we have a lot of patterning going on here in the scribe card. Now, the scribe is all about preserving knowledge and information. So if I were just looking at the energy of this, I would feel that you, my beautiful heart crew, although you're feeling intensely, may not be expressing intensely. But because this is a reading on so that didn't go as planned, what now? It tells me that there must have been an attempt to communicate some feelings or communicate a message at some point in time that did not produce the change that we were hoping for because of a block. So you, my beautiful heart crew, may now be sitting here going, okay, I did my due dilly, which in the Little Reader's House is short for due diligence. I did my due dilly and nothing really came of it. I feel blocked. I felt like by expressing what I was feeling, it was going to create the change that I wanted. And yet it did not. Now, because in the shadow here, we have altering facts or plagiarizing others' work, I do not think that you would plagiarize my beautiful heart crew. Although, if you did, it's between you and I right now. It's the altering the facts that I'm looking at. So my beautiful heart crew, I ask you, upon reflection, is it possible that the truth of your feelings and the truth of your desires and the truth of your intentions and the truth of what you wanted to express was not completely or fully accurately conveyed because of the absence of the throat chakra here? And I know we haven't sussed out the blueness of this yet. You know, I'm really going to go indigo on this. But because of the absence of the throat chakra, which represents true and authentic communication directly from the heart, it's the chakra right above our beloved heart chakra. It takes the higher tact and it fully, deeply, and truly conveys the energy, frequency, and vibration, often verbally, of us to others. I don't know how truly, accurately you had the opportunity to convey that. And my beautiful heart crew, I don't see that that was intentional on your part. I do not believe that you changed facts or misrepresented yourself intentionally. Instead, I feel like in the moment, things just came out different. Things just didn't. What I'm seeing is this moment, like this confession or this conversation or this text or this email, this request, potentially from someone in authority or someone that you've placed in authority, maybe someone who is on a pedestal, like because they're a romantic interest or because they're a mentor. They may be a teacher. Again, I'm hearing a boss. But it's like, maybe because of the language of the environment, being a work environment, or just the very powerful energy of the person we were trying to communicate with or group that we were trying to communicate with. Maybe it was legal terms. Whatever it was, it's like the language of the institution or the person, place, or thing that we were dealing with. There was this misalignment in the type of communication style. So it's possible, my beautiful heart crew, that you didn't even get to express the depth of your feelings or desires or your need to accomplish or achieve something in a certain way because of restrictions and limitations put on you by some other force. Absolutely not something to blame yourself for, my beautiful heart crew. In fact, for all of my crews, whether you just popped in and found yourself here, wandered in, from my comic crew or from my father crew. Self-blame is a lot different than ownership. And you deserve love above all else, not guilting and blaming. So while we will always strive to take ownership, I hereby renounce on your behalf any blame or guilt associated with this. Because your tender heart feels to me heavy, like it's hurting over this. And if forces beyond your control were already restricting you in some ways, the first thing I want to say, my beautiful heart crew, is that divine intervention and divine timing may very well be at play. And that it just was a piece of the puzzle of a bigger story that moment in time. It may not have been the make or break. But we're going to get into that with the tarot. So my beautiful heart crew, if that sounds like you, if this energy check resonated, then you are in exactly the right place. And I'm going to make some space for our tarot cards. I'm not sure what deck we're going to go with right now. I have two options in front of me. I think we're going to go with this beautiful deck called the Hanson-Roberts tarot deck. The Hanson-Roberts. So my beautiful heart crew, how you doing? Can you let me know? What is it? What's the story of you? We're going to figure out right now why didn't that go as planned? What happened there? What was that block that we saw in the turkey tail? I think it was, yeah, the turkey tail, which is a mushroom renowned for immunity. Immunity is protection. So I believe you may have, in fact, been being divinely protected in this. Also, we see a lot of blue here, just saying, or like aqua color. You may have been divinely protected in whatever obstacles or blocks you felt like the person or thing that was receiving the information just couldn't hear you or couldn't grasp it for what it was. Or you sent off this incredibly powerful email and then got like the message not received email back because it wasn't a real email address or something. Just whatever it was, that limit or that obstacle may have very well been divine protection. And we're going to find out right now. But if there's guilt on you, on your heart, my beautiful heart crew, let's just take that guilt, put it in a little box, close the box, and then hand the box over to me, and I will dispose of it. Bloop. Then I'm going to give you this other box, and when you open up this box, it's full of so much love, just like almost nauseatingly pink, glittery love that just leaps into your heart and reminds you that you do the best with what you have at all times, just like we all do, and that you are equally worthy and deserving of love, just as we all are. So that's what's going on right there. Spirit, what went wrong? Why didn't that go as planned for my beautiful heart crew? Oh. Why didn't that go as planned? And what was it? That's just my own curiosity speaking. Yeah, let's do 4 and 4. We have the Page of Swords already in the reverse in the corner. We have the Moon in reverse. We have the 6 of Pentacles upright. We have the 9 of Swords upright. We have the 3 of Rods upright. That would be Wands. It's Rods in this deck. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Interesting, 2 aces in reverse. And we have the 3 of Pentacles upright. So Spirit, tell me the story of my beautiful heart crew's. I'm hearing time to shine, but my heart crew, every moment is your time to shine. Every single moment is your time to shine. This is not a missed opportunity. That's the first thing Spirit wants you to know. I mean, I don't know if it's the first, but it's a thing. This was not a missed opportunity. Come here, you. Let's do a little cradling, a little loving. I don't know if the tears are coming. I feel them welling up in me, so I can only imagine you and I in this portal through time and space are both feeling the emotions together. But this was not a missed opportunity. You did not mess up. You did not do anything wrong. Trust in Spirit in that it's divine timing, divine plan, and you did your best right there in that moment. Okay? So my heart is with you. My beautiful heart crew. You're the heart crew. So your heart is golden, sensitive, very self-aware. Be gentle with yourself. So with the Page of Swords and the Moon, both in the reverse, I see that a message was trying to be relayed. And here in my beautiful Page of Swords card, the look on this page's face is a little bit concerned. Like, I feel my heart beating faster, my stomach in butterflies. Because I see the Ace of Cups here, I know that for at least some people watching, this was a confession of feelings to a special person. Then we have the Moon in reverse. This is kind of standard Moon card stuff. Although we see a person with their face turned away, not seeing, not receiving, maybe not able to see or receive. And we also see a light that almost looks like the luminescence of the sun. And we have water, like rain coming down. A message was trying to be delivered. In good faith, also. That's important to say. Here with this Santa Claus-like figure, that's my first association is to go for Santa Claus. You may be able to see why. It was done in good faith, as an act of generosity, but I believe there was some serious time and effort put into this. And I say that because of the pentacles, the sheer amount of pentacles being 6, we're working our way up the pentacular ladder, if you will. And if you know this in traditional tarot, with every increasing pentacle card, with the exception of the Five of Pentacles, there's typically a proportionate increase in wealth or resources. So it seems to me that you were meaning to give of a generous overflow, and that there had been some thought put into this. But there was more than thought that was put into this. There was also a significant amount of anxiety. And the anxiety I believe came both before and after this conversation or this communication was delivered. I'm also seeing that for a few of you, my beautiful heart crew, this may have been information that you received. You may have not been the sender. For a very select few of you, you may have actually been the recipient of someone else's generous message that cleared up some secrets and cleared up some confusion things you either didn't know or assumed to be long past, or you knew it in a very small part of your mind, but had chosen to look away from it intentionally. And someone might have laid it out for you and done so with such generosity that you're like, oh, no. Now this is causing anxiety. For those who were actually the deliverer of the message, which I think is most, because this is something that didn't go as planned, so I see you as the initiator of the action in most instances. I think the anxiety may have come before and after in anticipation of this event. Reasons why is because the recipient of your action isn't quite ready for a new beginning yet. But that may change, and we're going to look at should you try again, and we're going to look at advice. So me, here I am trying to get ahead of myself. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm trying to reel it back in. Let me have a sip of my coffee, and let's continue to dissect what was going on with the recipient of this information. Here in the Three of Rods, we have the figure with their back turned to us. And I'm loving how the wands/rods look like rosebuds to me. I'm seeing this, but there's the silver hair. So it's like there's this mature individual who you intuitively sensed, my beautiful heart crew, I'm pointing to you over here, off camera. You intuitively sensed this person. First of all, the look of rosebuds makes me again think love interest. But again, general reading, I fully recognize that for some, and maybe at least half, this could have been at work. This could have been with a family member. This could have been in school. It could be in any area of our lives, but the rosebuds and the fact that this is the heart, it's giving love interest to a certain degree. By the way, kudos and bravo if you confessed your feelings to someone and had a hard conversation for any reason. I'm so proud of you for that. You sensed intuitively that this person is ready for something, or that there's something mutual there between you, some kind of shared energy. And you felt like, irrespective of their position, I, being you as the heart crew, have to honestly express, even at the cost of anxiety, even at the cost of my own peace, this is such an important conversation that needs to be had that I need to express. So you did that, but this individual's back was turned toward you because they were not ready to receive. Now, there is a part of them, a large part, that is open to your request, whatever that request was. If it is a love request, there's a part of them that is interested and open. If it is a work request for a promotion, let's say, there's a part of them that is interested and open. Whatever it was, whatever the conversation was, whatever the request was, whatever the feelings were that were on offer by you, my beautiful heart crew, there is a part of them which, again, you intuitively sensed here would be open to this potential. But there is also something that I can't see, and we're going to see if Spirit lets us see it right now, that is blocking them, or did block them. And for my own curiosity and yours as well, my beautiful heart crew, I'd like to know what it was. And maybe you already know what it was, and if you do, please comment it down below so we can complete this story. But if you don't know what it is, let's see, let's find out. We're not always allowed to know the answers to everything. Some things are, oh, Ace of Cups, though, just moved from the wind of my shuffle. So it may have to do with the emotions, fear. Yes, some kind of fear is blocking them. What is it, Spirit? Please clarify. Oh, okay. Ah, Queen of Cups. Ah, the Tower and the Hanged Man in reverse. Okay. Wow. Major Arcana energy hiding under there. So, my beautiful heart crew, your bid in good faith, your confession in good faith, your desire to share was well-intentioned. You did the best you could with what you had in the moment, and you shall be applauded for that by our entire family. Bravo to you, tender heart crew. You did your due dilly, short for due diligence. Here, however, we see that the recipient of this, the reason it wasn't well received, the reason it didn't go as planned, is because this individual is still working on something. Now, the Three of Pentacles, to my memory, and what are the odds I'm going to pull up the Rider-Waite deck, and Three of Pentacles would be visible. Oh, 10 of Pentacles. That would have knocked my socks off if it had been the Three of Pentacles. Just join me here as we go on a little journey, because I'm looking for, aha, I knew it. Three of Pentacles here is a collaborative, we see? And this is significant, very significant, Spirit is saying, because in this deck, Three of Pentacles, it's one person working on 3 pentacles. So the recipient of this bid, whatever it was, this confession, this message, this moment, is doing their own thing for a very specific reason. The reason they are open for a long-lasting emotional investment, and you could sense that, my beautiful heart crew, you and your incredible intuition, yet then closed off when given the opportunity, is because, first of all, in the case of a romantic thing, they might have a romantic interest. This is option A. And I don't mean like they're hiding something from you. If you're in a committed relationship with this individual and you had a conversation about improving your connection, this does not mean that they have a secret boo thang on the side. This means that for someone who maybe you don't know well, or maybe you do know well, but you wanted to go further with, they may have a either literal person of interest in mind, or they have consciously created an alternative narrative where they have something, some other like archetype or some other vision for where they want to take their romantic life. This could even be true in the case of like a promotion at work. There could be someone that this person has in mind, or a type that this person has in mind. But see, it goes a little bit deeper here. This person that they have in mind isn't really the concern. It's not the individual. And this person actually represents a sort of fear, like a fear of emotional commitment, one might say, or the fear of taking an emotional risk, or the fear of being trapped. So whether it's a real person or whether it's imaginary construct, that they just have like a vision in their mind. They're like, oh no, I have this other thing going on. Or another person to fill the position, or they just weren't responsive. There is this Queen of Cups energy, person or archetype, same in the energetic world, that is occupying the space, and it's not letting the real thing come in. And there's a very good reason for that. This individual, this hardworking person who is either career-focused or self-focused on personal development, is terrified of experiencing real emotional stuff. Give that to me better, Spirit. We can do better than that. Let's get a little channeling going on here. Can we channel from the recipient's perspective? Is that allowed? No. Okay. Okay, then we'll just channel from Spirit's perspective. What's the message here? The person, place, or thing that my beautiful heart crew attempted to create a connection with, invest with, move up with, ask for needs to be met from, connect with, was denied the opportunity for emotional connection because the person of interest, person, place, or thing that was being addressed is not currently available for emotional connection. This person will be available for emotional connection in their own good time once they stop resisting. Once they stop resisting the feeling of being trapped. This individual, person, place, or thing may consider that meeting your needs would trap them in a dynamic. And this individual does not want to be trapped in that dynamic at this time. They don't see the value of that dynamic. They don't see the value of deep internal emotional fulfillment at this exact moment. So although your bid and your communication was legitimate, was honorable, and was favorable, this is quite literally it's not me, it's you. Wait, no, it's not you, it's me. Although this person might say it's not me, it's you, but I don't get that sense from this individual, whoever it was, the recipient, person, place, or thing, whether it was a corporation, an institution, an industry, a job opportunity, career-based, family-based, already a partner who you're with, a child, a sibling, whatever this individual represents, it's not you, meaning you, my beautiful heart crew, it's me kind of situation. Now, we must ask Spirit, is this a kind of hold up and wait situation? Like, will this person be ready soon? Because the Tower and the Hanged Man are hefty energies. And the fact that they're both in reverse is no accident. In my experience, though, we often see a reversal right before we see the breakthrough of the energy, because this means that this energy is already present. And oh, don't we know here in the spiritual community that what we resist persists. So the harder this beautiful person, place, or thing pushes against deep emotional connection, the more likely it is that is going to sweep into their life as a lesson. The question is my beautiful heart crew involved in that? Should they try again? And when I say try again, I'm asking specifically about this situation, this institution, this person. But now that I'm recognizing that there could be diverging paths and that some need to know if they should try, for example, going for a similar type of job again. Others need to know if they should try waiting around for this particular opportunity in person again. So let's do two separate peekies if you will. If that's okay with you, my beautiful heart crew. How you hanging in there, by the way? It's been me doing a whole lot of talking. I'm sending you all my love. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the specifics of what happened here, because we're co-creating this together, you and me. Your energies mixed with my cards. But we do it together. And isn't that wonderful? It means you're never alone, my beautiful heart crew. And neither am I. Comforting thought for us both. Also, give my other heart crews some love out there. Members of my heart crew to other members of my heart crew. Because it's nice to know that you're not alone. It's everything, honestly. So let's do a card and a clarifier for each situation. First, on our left-hand side, we're going to look at, for my heart crew, should they try again with this person? Should they, like, that trying again might mean having another conversation or waiting around. I'll leave it up to their best judgment. But should they wait around, I want an answer and a clarifier, please. Coming right off the top with their answer and their clarifier. Okay, 2 clarifiers. And then Spirit, for those who, let's say, are pursuing another romance or pursuing another career or another, let's say, employer within the same industry or maybe even a different industry, should they try again in the same, like, just at the same objective? One answer and a clarifier, please. So should they keep trying to get a job in this industry? Should they keep being on Tinder? Should they keep having that conversation with that family member saying, hey, remember that thing? You know, I guess that would apply if it's the same person here, but I'm kind of focusing romantic on this side. So if it is a platonic connection with a family member or friend, I think you may find your answer here. So let's go first with the romantic. So we've got the 10 of Rods in reverse. That is all about let it go, baby. Let it go. You knew that was coming. Let it go. That's a Frozen reference for those who loved that little musical ditty. That would be Let It Go from Frozen. 10 of Rods is 10 of Wands. It's all about carrying the heavy burden and keep on keeping on. 10 of Rods in reverse, I read as let it go. Let gravity, in this case, gravity is actually working in our favor for us to release. So let's look at our clarifiers. 9 of Pentacles in reverse and the Hierophant upright. So that, Spirit, doth give some mixed messages, and Spirit is saying there's no such thing as a mixed message. So don't know what that means, but it means the answer must be here. Let me see if this 9 of Pentacles looks like. Yes, this is a totally different rendition of the traditional 9 of Pentacles illustration. And to me, it's this beauty trying to seduce this bird-fish hybrid. Look at that. What else would you call that thing? It's like a hawk with very long tail feathers that almost look like a fish fin. I love it. And I'm going to get some, I'm going to do something that I rarely do, which is throw in some zodiac references. I almost get Gemini, Cancer. Oh, when we're in a Cancer new moon today when I'm filming this. But Gemini, Cancer vibes. You may be dealing with an individual who is either an air sign or a water sign or on the cusp, because that is just what that image screams out to me. In any case, here she's trying to seduce him. Well, no, she's not seducing the animal, but she is communing with the animal. But we see it here in reverse. Then we see the Hierophant here. Now, oftentimes this can speak to traditional commitment, like marriage and weddings. It could also speak to going to an authority. But more than anything, the Hierophant speaks to going the traditional route. So here's what I'm interpreting from this message. First, we want to release the obstacle of waiting around for this individual. Let them go. Don't focus your precious energies on this one person anymore. Instead, what I'm interpreting here, to take the traditional route, I see as When you get a no, you say, okay, and you match the energy and move on. That's pretty traditional to me. I also see this in the context of spirituality as when you need support and help with letting this go, pray. These two identically mirrored figures are praying pretty fervently here for the key. And I take this as a message from Spirit to say, this is being divinely orchestrated. There's a reason why timing hasn't aligned, and I will refer you back to a message from time. It's a reading 2 videos backwards from this one that speaks to divine timing and how it works, and you may find insights there pertaining to this situation. But time is more about aligning with certain vibrations and frequencies to come into perfect harmony with something than it is about orchestrating events on a linear timeline or pattern. So what I mean by that is, I think Spirit is saying here, it's far more effective to ask for divine guidance and trust in divine guidance and take the traditional route of accepting rejection or accepting the answer that you received and then moving on from that, because better things await. That being said, I do understand the concept of attachment, particularly in romantic capacities. And it can be difficult to let things go, especially when the heart is involved. And baby, you're the heart crew. So that's why I'm going a little bit deeper into this before we move on here. Let it go. Let go of attachment to it as best you can, but understand that there are things being divinely orchestrated for 2 people. And that twin thing always goes for, in my interpretation, can speak to partners in a union. Divine orchestration is at play. So trust that. Don't use that to attach, use it to detach. Don't use this reading to cling on, use it to facilitate letting go and release. And move on as if this situation is no longer viable. Doesn't mean that it's not, but move on like it is. Yes. As for the platonic or the career situation, yes. Okay, so 2 of Cups clarified by the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So on this side, where it's not a romantic entanglement, and instead it is communion with somebody you're already in partnership with, or with a boss, or with looking for a job in the same industry, not necessarily from the same employer, but let's say you're a nurse looking for another hospital. Continue with that. It is a good match for you, the idea behind it. And this kind of applies to you too, my romantic crew on the left. The idea behind it is sound. The energetic link behind it is sound. In the romantic capacity, it hasn't lined up in time yet. But on the right-hand side, it's much closer. The energy is there. It's just about finding the right match. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse tells me that time is a factor in this situation, just like it is in this situation. Divine timing is still at play. With the Queen of Pentacles, she's a slow-moving queen, but when she's in reverse, it can indicate that things will align very quickly once you find the correct match. And I think the same is true here as well. That's why in the romantic situation, we want to let go like this is not a viable option, because one of 2 things will happen. It will immediately become a viable option once you let go. Or number 2, you will find a viable option once you let go. Here, because I think there's less attachment, things are over and done with, or this person's already in our lives, so we're not running away from them. There's no, like, that kind of game playing isn't here. We see this timing thing as saying it's going to just, as soon as you align with the right option, it's going to happen very quickly. So if you find the employer who's going to be the right employer, things will go smoothly. If you find the conversation point or the activity to emotionally bond and connect with this person, it's going to go, that connection is going to be facilitated very quickly. So in both cases, divine timing is involved, but in both cases, my beautiful heart crew, trying again is advised. Just not with the same person over here on the left, unless they come to you. And over here, not in the exact same way. Try a different option, but try the concept again. Beautiful. So finally, we are going to go, what now? Because believe it or not, that wasn't the what now, although I feel kind of like I intuited some advice out of that with the piece about divine timing at play. That almost feels like a piece of advice. But let's go further. We're going to look at the creative block that may be at play in this situation. Oh, I know why. I was trying to pinpoint it in my mind. It's because this was very much a message about the other party not being ready yet. Nevertheless, for our own self-loving purposes, let's just take this part of the reading as how can we self-love right now? And what can we embody to just experience more alignment in every area, especially this particular area of our lives? So we got seer, be a pioneer, be an entrepreneur. The few lead the many. I love that. Okay, and this is our animal archetype energy that we'd like to embody. And then we're going to go for an affirmation, a healing affirmation that provides us with a beautiful alignment of our energies. Spirit, for my heart crew, let's bring them in here. For my beautiful heart crew, what affirmation will be like a soothing balm to their heart right now? 2. And then advice from Spirit, please. What advice can my beautiful heart crew take, internalize, put into action so that their cup can run over with love and get them into the energetic space to experience success in this area of their life, because they so richly deserve it. You so richly deserve it, my beautiful heart crew. Ooh. Oh, actually, yeah, we're going to crowd out this space, and I love that. Let's flip some guys over the mouse energy. Oh, I love. Okay, I am born of infinite joy, and conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. Oh, I love this. I'm getting the urge to turn everything over right away and then explore it piece by piece. So let's follow the urges. That might be another piece of advice too. Break the chain, deep replenishment, and leap. Love it. Okay, so. I can do it. I can do it. I can make it all fit so that nothing overlaps too much. And so that we're all in the frame. Did we do it? Let's check. Yep, that looks pretty profesh. Thank you so much for bearing with me, my beautiful heart crew. Oh my goodness, I love you. I love you all, beautiful souls. You give me life. So, creative seer, be a pioneer, be an entrepreneur. The few lead the many. This is a confidence boost, my beautiful heart crew. Nothing feels like rejection does, in my experience, both as a channel and as a human being with my own ego. Having experienced it firsthand and thousands of times secondhand, or, through the channel. Really good use of language, right? Nothing feels like it. It can really destroy the confidence. But here, Spirit is saying, take that rejection, eat it for breakfast. That was delicious, like waffles with soft whipped cream and maple syrup on top. Let's have some more. The mouse scares the elephant. I don't know if that's true in real life, but I know that in cartoons, it's a fact that when an elephant sees a mouse, it goes wild. That shows you that your size, even when you're feeling small, does not indicate your power. Your power is enormous. Another thing about mice and also rats is that they're relatively intelligent animals. And when I say relatively, I'm lowballing it. They can fit through any space. They're quick. Evidently, they can scare elephants. They can run on everything, like a roof, a fence. They're like here and then they're there. They're like ethereal. They're almost walking a line between the spirit realm and the physical realm in that they're so quick and so cute and so lovable. I actually really love mice and rats. I know that's not true for everybody, but the little reader, be like that. So I'm going to say that they're so lovable. Since I'm the reader here, my beautiful heart crew, I'm telling you that we will thrive as this heart crew collective by recognizing our strengths and knowing that even when we feel small, that does not mean that we're not lovable. It doesn't mean that we're not talented. It doesn't mean we're not geniuses. And it doesn't mean we can't scare an elephant away. Another thing about scaring an elephant away makes me think of the elephant in the room. You can scare that away through your confidence. If you still need to interact with this person or this situation that this whole reading stemmed from, about making that bid or having that conversation and then it didn't pan out the way we wanted it to, but now we're still in this position where we need to interact with them, trust your confidence and your ability to chase that elephant out of the room simply by being yourself, by being fast, by pitter-pattering around, by getting you some cheese, by just doing your own thing. You can clear the room of any awkwardness, any tension from the conversation. You're far and away above that. You are in your own world. That's something that I'm getting here too, my beautiful heart crew, is that you have a powerful inner world and a powerful inner sanctum. And as I look at these cards and the color themes, and even this setup that we have here today, it's like this setup was made for your, really like the black onyx here, the amethyst quartz. We have all these pinks and pastels and blues and higher chakra colors. It's like, for you, it goes pink, and then pink from the heart chakra, and then straight up. We have throat chakra, we have third eye, we have crown, and then even beyond that, we've got the silvers. You have this incredible higher chakra energy that is very spiritual and tuned in, and I think you have very high emotional intelligence. So trust your inner sanctum too. Another thing that mice do is disappear to their inner sanctum. Now, going back to cartoons, it's always like this cute little hole in the wall that they disappear into. And you can do the same thing without even removing yourself from a situation. Yes, remove yourself from a situation if you are in an unhealthy situation. If you can stop focusing on that person that we talked about, if it's a romantic interest and you made a proposal and it didn't go as expected, you can remove yourself from that situation. But in the instances where you don't need to do that, or as we talked about, you can continue to make those bids for emotional connection, but in a different way, know that you can always return to your inner sanctum. And here we see that with your affirmations. This one's on receiving elation. I am born of infinite joy. So reaching back into yourself and finding the joy within yourself, my beautiful heart crew. And then releasing anger or resolving anger. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. So this talks about going into that inner sanctum again. If you feel yourself getting frustrated or angry that things didn't go the way you wanted, even though you had the best of intentions and you put yourself out there, resolve to get back in touch with your inner sanctum. I don't know how many times in a 10-minute span I can say inner sanctum, but I'm challenging myself to squeeze it in like at least 5 more times. Because first of all, that has such a nice ring to it, inner sanctum. But secondly, my beautiful heart crew, the heart is an inner sanctum in and of itself. In yogic texts, we always talk about I'm saying that like I wrote yogic texts, go figure. The yogis always talk about how the heart is this, even Rumi talks about this. Okay, it's not just the yogis. I think like Byron was talking about this in poetry. Martin Luther King may have even spoken about this. Anyway, the heart is a doorway too. Okay, Jesus talked about it too. I will stop with the references. I'm just having way too much fun. The heart is a door to a place. And in that place, there is not just peace, but there is inspiration, enlightenment, freedom, ecstasy, bliss. Everything that your beautiful heart desires, heart crew, is literally in the heart. So your advice from the divine here with all these colors and all these advices that we're going to get into in a moment is be a pioneer, be a leader of leading people into their own heart. We even saw that the origin of this conflict is that another individual or individuals involved weren't ready to go into their heart, but that won't stop you from going into your heart, going back into your heart and developing that space, cleaning it out, lighting a candle. In this metaphor, we're saying your heart is like a room, and if that's what we're going with, you're adding rugs, you're upgrading the mattress, you're putting up some artwork, you're making it like really sexy and ambient in there. You will not be stopped from going into your inner sanctum. There it is again. Because other people won't go into theirs and won't meet you there. You're not going to be stopped. You're going to keep honing your own until other people start getting ready and showing up and, can I come in? Knocking on the door because they're like, where did the heart go? Where did my beautiful heart crew friend go? They're saying because like this mouse, you disappear. Like, yes, you're present, but you're in this joy, you're in this bliss, you're in this energy that can't be touched. So they're like, where did you go? Where did you get that? What are you sipping on? I'll have whatever they're having because they keep getting replenished and coming out of this heart space back into the world like a leader, scaring away the elephants. I don't know how they're doing that, but I want to follow. This is what Spirit's saying, my beautiful heart crew, is that you're a leader. And by continuing to lean into your own emotional intelligence and nourish yourself and do your work, which we're going to look at, you will inevitably lead the very same people who aren't ready right now to their hearts. That's poetry in motion to me. Is that the very same individuals who may have rebuffed you this time or not seen your worth this time will be the very same people. Write their names down, mark it in your heart, even as you let them go. Don't get attached, but just make a mental note because those individuals will be the ones who either turn to you for advice or at some point in the future say, this person inspired me, even if it's never to your face. And that's like the definition of power. So if you were feeling disempowered, let's just turn that around and reveal empowered you. Because as the heart, and I was just saying this to my heart crew in our last reading, you are the organ that runs the body. You run the show. No you, no life. So when other people catch on to that is totally on them. Here's your advice moving forward, my beautiful heart crew. And yes, there are others of us who are awakened and actively living in our hearts the way you are. You are not alone. You will find them, especially by continuing to return back and nurture and nourish yourself. Get grounded. Yes, this is the definition of running back to that inner sanctum, baby. Empaths, highly sensitives connect with nature. This is what you're doing. You're going to go sit in the forest. You're going to meditate. You're going to journal. You're going to speak to a professional if you like that. If you like to speak to friends, you're going to talk to them. Any way that you need to process your feelings and nourish yourself, you're going to do it. You're going to make your own 10 of cups. That's what this is. You're going to be the reason why people want, when they look at you, to dive into their own hearts and into your heart, because they're like, okay, I don't know what the heart crew is sipping on, but I want it. Breaking the chain of ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. This is kind of a collective energy right now, my beautiful heart crew. I don't sense for you that there's a particular entanglement going on in the spiritual realms, and sometimes that comes through very strongly. Here I feel that breaking the chain is simply choosing to value yourself, to love yourself. There's an incredible heart meditation that I will drop down below in the description. It's called The Breath of Life by Spirit Science. You may even get to it before you get to the description if you're close to the search window on YouTube. But it's got 4 mantras. I love myself, I trust myself, I honor myself, I value myself. Getting in touch with that once or multiple times a day is breaking the chain of a lot of old patterning that goes through generations of humankind. You're already onto that work, I can feel it, but that may be valuable to you. So it'll be in the description. Finally, deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, be held. I'm pretty sure that this card came up for my heart crew one reading ago, and I can see for anyone who's living through their heart center, this is going to be top priority. Constantly be replenishing yourself. Constantly be moisturizing, constantly be drinking your water, constantly be staying in your lane in the best possible way. Constantly be loving yourself. That's this deep replenishment here. On every level, physically, tend to your sleep, tend to your diet, tend to your mood. Emotionally, and by the way, when I say diet, I don't mean go on a diet. Let me just wind that back. When I say tend to your diet, I mean tend to your nourishment through food, just to be ultra clear. Tend to your emotions. Tend to your spiritual routine. Tend to your mental health. That's what this is. And put those things before everything else and everyone else. Controversial? Absolutely. We get kind of controversial here sometimes. Only when you have enough in your cup can you even give to anybody else. So, the more you got, the more you can give. Leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. These two energies, the pioneer and leap, are exactly what you're doing, my beautiful heart crew. By embracing and embodying this energy, you are being a pioneer in the field of, I don't need to be told by others that I'm valuable. I see, honor, and value and love myself. And then they fall in line to worship at the throne. I know that's a little dramatic, you know, one of my favorite things, drama. But I mean it quite literally. I mean, well, will they get on their knees? That remains to be seen. You get back here to the comments and let me know. But what I mean by worship is there will be a reverence and a respect that comes from you setting the tone, my beautiful heart crew. Set the tone when it comes to the value of you and watch how the world responds. Wow. On that note, my beautiful soul, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for absorbing these messages and being a self-awareness warrior who comes with so much courage in your heart to see, to learn, to integrate. You are changing this earth. You're changing me. It's such a privilege to be able to sit in your energy and read it for you. I'm honored. So thank you so much for being here. And until we meet again, my beautiful heart crew, I'm sending you all the love I've got. Take very good care. I love each and every one of you, beautiful souls. Bye for now. Hello, my beautiful father crew. It is I, the little reader, and welcome to your So That Didn't Go As Planned, What Now reading. I'm going to lay out your energy check, and we're going to see what it is you're dealing with, my beautiful father crew. Okay, we have Addict. I saw one card, but I haven't seen the whole picture. Ooh, Amanita, Expanded Awareness. And Yang. Wow, with number 1. Okay, powerful energies here, my beautiful father crew. This is the card that popped out eagerly, so eagerly that it flipped over and I got a sneaky peeky. But now I'm starting to see the entire story spread out before me. First thing I'm seeing is a lot of reds over here on the left, which is very cool. We've got this addict card, which brings up this intense, fiery energy of sometimes wanting to possess, sometimes wanting to control, sometimes needing things to go a certain way. And if they can't go that way, finding distractions to ease the dissatisfaction of an undesirable outcome. However, this situation, my beautiful father crew, has provided you with a unique opportunity to expand your awareness beyond any distractions that may try to pop up or try to steal your attention away from the matter at hand. So what I see here, my beautiful father crew, first of all, what I feel here, immense tension in the body, immense tension, a tightness and a hunger. The hunger might be quite literal. If you are fasting, forgive me as I shift my leg, maybe you're moving too. That would be awesome. Movement, synergy. You may be fasting, drop it in the comments if you are. If you haven't, or maybe you just skipped lunch, breakfast, dinner, or snack. But the hunger that I'm talking about goes a little bit deeper than that. This is a hunger for movement, action, and energy. It is a belief that by doing things, outcomes will occur. And you know, that's very scientific. We see that by, for example, moving of tires when a car is in action. The car is like sort of teleported from space to space by virtue of the spinning, rotating tires. The movement gets it somewhere. And here I see the very logical understanding that you, my beautiful father crew, have, which is that if I move and I do things, I will produce outcomes. And what I'm seeing here for your energy check is that movement is not producing desired outcomes right now. It's also, it's like action frustrated. It's very hanged man energy from the traditional tarot, in that trying to get something done is like a car spinning its wheels when it is suspended by a crane. So it can move its wheels, but it's not moving itself. So if you, my beautiful father crew, feel like you have expended enormous energy in a certain direction to produce a certain outcome, and either that outcome literally blew up in your face, let's say you spent years in a career, let's say you spent years in a certain position, and then were unexpectedly laid off or let go. Or let's say you've been trying to create some kind of masterpiece of art, and then the canvas melted, or your dog chewed it up, or you looked at it when it was all done and was like, ugh, or you were super, super proud of it and then listed it for sale on Etsy and no one's looked at it yet. Here I sense this energy of, I did all the work. Maybe I did too much. Where did I mess up? And I'm already seeing here, I know this is just the energy check, but I sense that you can sense it. You feel like such a fiery energy to me right now, my beautiful father crew. I sense that you can sense it already. What's happening is this ability to look at yourself. What's already being produced as an outcome of this situation is time for you to look at yourself and how you got to where you are, and to see your role in it, and where action may have been used as a distraction, unintentional rhyming, from looking at certain things within yourself that would have benefited from a loving eye. They would have benefited from some attention. They would have benefited from looking at them like a opportunity to grow. So now Spirit's got you in this position where your hands are kind of tied. All the action in the world isn't really going to fix this situation anymore. But your awareness is expanding, my beautiful father crew. You who are worthy of so much love, by the way. In case for a split second you forgot about it, or you doubted it, or you're coming down hard on yourself for something. No. You deserve so much love. Above all else, you deserve love. And as I told my heart crew, I believe, or maybe it was my comic crew, but it goes for everybody. There's a difference between self-blame and guilt and taking ownership. And one of our objectives here today is to release any self-blame and guilt, take complete ownership so that we can write a different future, and then step into that future. Because once again, you deserve all the love that life has to offer. So if this sounds like you, my beautiful father crew, you're in exactly the right place. I'm going to stack up your energy check, and then we're going to step into the tarot gently, gingerly, respectfully. We are using the original Rider-Waite, and that feels really monumental. I don't know why, but it seems like we're going back to our roots. For you and your energy, my beautiful father crew, and wait just a second. There's a tree here, a big old tree. Going back to our roots and the energy of your crew is like, there's been so much movement. Oh, look, Wheel of Fortune being flashed to me here. There's been so much movement and so much effort towards a certain direction. And when we have an issue, we just throw action at the problem. Now it seems to me that Spirit is saying, this is an opportunity to trace backwards a little bit to the origin of something that recently happened. The reason why this thing didn't go as planned, this, what now? Well, if we look back in time a little bit, we're going to see what the origin of this situation was. And we are going to integrate the lesson. And as I said, create a different future. A beautiful thing indeed. So Spirit, why didn't that go as planned? If we're going back into the past, can you show me and us, my beautiful father crew, what it was that was the sticking point, the energetic blockage, if you will? First card. What will it be? Second card. Third card. Interesting. Perfect. And with that, our story is whole. Interesting. I think this is the least amount of cards used so far, but don't quote me on that. We've got the Eight of Pentacles upright. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We've got the High Priestess upright. We've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. We've got the King of Wands in reverse. We've got the World in reverse. We've got Temperance in reverse. I see it all before me as if I lived it. And the funny thing about that is, well, I have a whole theory about past lives and how they're really current lives and how we're all living every life that's ever been lived all at once. That kind of sounds like that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I've never seen it. It's on my list. Rather than go down that path, we can save that for another time. Let's look at your path, my beautiful father crew. And let me bring you back in here for a hug, because this is some heavy-duty stuff. Your card weighs 5 tons in my hands right now because of the weight on your shoulders, but it's like because of your fiery energy. I don't know if you're an Aries. I don't know if you're a Leo. I don't know if, oh my goodness, we're brain farting. Sagittarius. I'm not sure if you have these placements in your chart or if you're just a fiery energy. Sometimes personality has no seeming correlation with the elements present in someone's chart, but the energy don't lie. So it's like the fire within you is burning the weight off of you as we speak, which is kind of exhilarating. Whatever you're going through, it's absolutely the most transformational personal energy that I've felt in this reading today. And I'm like, my hand is being electrified simply by touching this portal between you and I here that is this card. So thank you for that. Thank you for rubbing off on me with the brave and bold desire to reflect, to learn, and then to move forward again. We need action people in this world so much, and you're one of them. So thank you, thank you, thank you a million times. Divine gratitude for you. The first scenario that comes to me is really specific, but I actually think it's going to apply pretty broadly. Let me take a sip of my coffee and I'll share it with you. Also, a fly died in my coffee. Yeah. So we're not going to take a sip of it. We just put that right back down. Rest in peace, little guy. Rest in peace. Now that makes me wonder, could this have to do with the passing of someone? That may be another scenario. If someone that you love near and dear to you, someone or something has passed, my deepest condolences. Grief is indeed transformational. So there's an element of grief in this reading, whether it has to do with the passing of someone or just a very big shift in your life's trajectory because of a sudden event. I'm standing in solidarity with you because that is weighty. Grief is weighty, but very transformational. I'd say perhaps that's the silver lining of grief. The scenario I see is the first one that came to me, having to do with being laid off or let go. We see that here with the work. 8 of Pentacles frequently speaks to employment. And with this turn of luck in the Wheel of Fortune reversed, it looks like, boom, there was a sudden ending to the work environment. It doesn't have to be work, though. It could have been a project that you were working on. It could have been a relationship that you were working on. This could speak to a long-term relationship or a relationship that seemed to have a lot of promise in it. Even if it was just a few weeks or a few months, it feels like whatever this thing was, there was a deep investment there that happened. When it comes to relationships, I know that the intensity can build very quickly. So that's why I include even a few weeks or months, because that feeling of long-term potential can be so strong. It could have also been with a home, suddenly having to move without notice. And maybe you had notice, but maybe it just crept up out of nowhere. Maybe a lease expired at the worst possible time in your life for that to happen. However, for most, I feel this is career. Suddenly, you're out of a job or you're demoted, not in the same position you used to be anymore. This leads to a reckoning. Spirit is saying the reason this didn't pan out is because there needed to be a reckoning with feminine energy. When I say feminine, I mean yin. When I say yin, I mean the opposite of yang or yang. So here's what we see as a contributing factor in your energy check. But we saw fire energy all over that energy check. I feel it even right now in my hands. Oh, look, hands. That's funny. The fire energy is traditionally considered masculine. When I say masculine, though, let's just throw gender right out the window for a second. We can describe this in a different way. Yin energy is receptive. Yang energy is projective. Now you can understand why it's associated with certain genders. But we don't need to associate it with any genders. There are so many examples of this polarity across time and space. The lesson here was on balancing this polarity. It got out of hand. To go back to the hands, there's something about hands here. We're going to get there. But I'm already feeling like there's something having to do with hands. Hands are a great example of the difference between receiving and giving or creating. It is a total shift. Here we see someone working with their hands also. Hands. What is it? I'm hearing not in words, but I'm feeling a piece of biblical scripture having to do with the work of one's hands. I don't know the verse. I don't even know if it's from the traditional Christian Bible, but it's certainly a piece of scripture having to do with the honor of working with one's hands. And I can sense that for you, my beautiful father crew, there is a pride and a self-respect and recognition of the value of work, the value of production. The reason this didn't work out is because Spirit is delighted to show you, before it goes any further in your lifespan, the value of a different kind of energy. And the balance, the sacred balance between too much giving and too much taking, too much making and production versus inaction and stagnance. Now, my beautiful father crew, you may find that you vacillate between two extremes. Working, and then a sort of numb inaction where you feel completely drained and all you can do is really sit and just either consume entertainment or think. And Spirit is saying, if that's something you relate to, my beautiful father crew, this event has brought up a brand new opportunity for you to release this yang projective doer energy in favor of this balanced, intuitive, heart-centric energy. See, the heart is a very interesting thing. I wish I could illustrate this. Can I? No. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, the heart is the in-between point, the waypoint between 6 major chakras on the body. We have the root chakra, we have the sacral chakra, we have the solar plexus chakra. Then we have the heart. Above the heart, we have the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. And the heart functions as this bridge between the two. It's like a moderator of sorts. You could think like a sports moderator. That's my sorts and sports. But you could think of it like a sports moderator or a interviewer. You could think of it as an event moderator. The heart is also like a gate. It, when in perfect balance, ensures that lower chakra energies, by the way, lower is not meant to mean inferior. I simply mean below the heart. Lower chakra energies don't overpower higher chakra energies. Again, higher is not meant to mean superior. I just mean above the heart. It also ensures that higher chakra energies don't overwhelm or overpower lower chakra energies. The heart is this balancer of the two, kind of like a gatekeeper, kind of like a master. But when the heart is not in its final form, if you will, or being exalted as the balancer, inevitably we see lower energies or higher energies begin to take over, and they quite literally overpower and throw off the balance of our entire life experience. Because when our internal energy systems are tuned a specific way, our external circumstances become tuned to directly reflect that. So if we've tuned our body to exalt, let's say our root chakra, for instance, which is red, and I say that because we have an abundance of red in your energy check. If your energy body is tuned to really exalt your root chakra, then your entire life circumstances are going to begin to reflect things like work, things like sexuality, things like sexual addiction and or attraction. Root chakra is very primal energy and very beautiful when in balance, absolutely not inferior or superior to anybody else here. However, if it becomes the primary focal point where all of our energy tends to accumulate and fester, everything else falls out of balance and our external circumstances mirror that. All of this to say, my beautiful father crew, that Spirit has chosen this moment. Everything kind of went into another order. That's funny. Spirit has chosen this moment to give you this opportunity to realign, to put your heart as the center, and to enrich your entire external life experience as a result. By putting your heart as the moderator of these energies within your body system, your energetic body system, you can have such an enriched life experience, which is temperance itself. Balance, peace, true peace. For a fiery personality, peace can feel like doing nothing. But as those of us with fiery personalities know, or fire elements know, that even when we're doing nothing, the mind is still going, or we're still consuming some type of entertainment, or we're planning or plotting, or just something is up. So my beautiful father crew, this is the end of a cycle for you. And the reason this didn't go as planned is because Spirit has a better plan. Spirit was saying like, okay, yeah, you think your investment was into something that was the real deal. But I'm going to show you a realer deal, my beautiful father crew. My beautiful father crew who deserves so much love and so much enrichment in your life. You're about to experience a new way of being that raises your entire perception and perspective to something beyond what you've experienced before. Because we're introducing now balance. This is what Spirit's bringing in. It's amazing balance. So We have two masculine or yang characters here. The Knight of Swords, who is the fastest character in the entire tarot, and the King of Wands, who is the most fiery character in the entire tarot. These two energies are highly projective, highly I go out and get it, I make things happen through my action. We're at the end of that cycle. We're stepping into temperance now. Balance. We're taking a sacred pause to experience a new way of life. So this kind of answers our question already of, should we try again at this thing? Instead of asking, should we try again at this exact same career or relationship or way of life, way of being, this attitude or this approach that we've always taken, we can see here the answer is already no. Spirit's saying, no. The reason that this happened is so that we try a new way. We do things differently. So let's rephrase the question slightly. And for my beautiful Father Crew, Spirit, let's ask what the new way is. What is the new way that my beautiful Father Crew is going to step forward and begin to take on life? In practical terms, it goes without saying that if you have lost employment, finding employment to sustain yourself and ensure that your physical needs are met is valuable. If you've lost a relationship, finding another relationship that meets your needs, emotional, mental, potentially physical, and spiritual, is valuable. This is not a matter of, should I replace the object I lost? I trust you, my beautiful Father Crew, to know what you want. And if you want another opportunity to do what you lost or to have that experience again, a second chance, you should absolutely have it. You should absolutely have it. So rather than ask, should I try to get another job? If you need another job, absolutely. That's something that you can move in the direction of with your intention. One of my favorite spiritual teachers, David G., always says, lean in the direction of. It's something you can lean in the direction of. But what we're going to ask Spirit right here and now is, what energy should you be in when you're leaning toward that thing? Because you will need money for food, very likely. I mean, if you join a convent, I suppose not. But for most of us, we will need money for food. You will need physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual companionship. You will need a game plan or a strategy for the way that you approach life. And this is that. How to go about getting that. Spirit, what's your advice for my beautiful Father Crew? One more shuffle, and then we'll go again. What's your advice for my beautiful, relentless, brilliant Father Crew who is so connected to Spirit, may not always feel it, but is so connected to Spirit? The wands, the fire element, is considered to be very close to the divine. Okay. That flew out, and I don't know if it was meant to be in reverse or upright. So we're going to gently place it back in the deck and trust that if it wants to return to the surface, it will do so. Trust. That is number one. Okay. That definitely wants to come out. What else, Spirit? Show us the new energy that my beautiful Father Crew is meant to be in, to thrive. Really? All right. Who am I to say nay? Interesting. Interesting. So we've got the Hermit Crew. Hey, maybe that's going to be you for a little bit. Beautiful Father Crew. I'm not sure, though. I'm not so sure yet. We've got the Hermit in reverse. We've got the Six of Swords upright. We've got the Three of Cups upright. We've got the Six of Wands in reverse. We've got the High Priestess in reverse. Fascinating. We've got the Page of Wands in reverse. We've got the 10 of Pentacles upright. We've got the 7 of Swords upright. And then on the back of the deck, we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So let's take a moment and absorb this beautiful energy. Things are already wanting to fly out of my mouth. I think that might be a little bit of your energy, my beautiful Father crew. You inspire me. Wow. That's a gift that you have. You can inspire others. Just so you know, in case you weren't aware, leadership. You're like built for leadership. Okay, we see a little bit of that here. First, don't stay so long in your hidey hole. Fire energy you may be, my beautiful Father crew, but there is a distinct desire to retreat and protect yourself is what I'm hearing, but I think that is not, protect yourself maybe the way that you frame it, like, yeah, you got to protect your energy, you know? I like to go home and close the door and shut everybody out, and that's just the way it is. But that's the problem, is that's precisely what's going on. In going home and shutting the door, you draw a very distinct line. Oh my gosh, my beautiful Father crew. You draw a very distinct line. And for those who are not watching, I'm looking at your crew card, and there is a line that literally splits the images in half. You draw a very distinct line between yourself and others. And that is exhibited in your behaviors as well as your routines, your energy. It's almost like we were talking about with the heart being the gatekeeper between the lower chakras and the higher chakras. It feels like up until now, your heart has also been very tightly protected. And as a result, you draw a line that divides instead of a line that unites. And that is such a natural thing to do, my beautiful Father crew, when we've been hurt in the past, or when we've been told our sensitivity is too much, or exuberance is too much, or we're too weird, or just get like normal. Can you just be normal? Like, please just blend in with everyone else. Have you ever been told like retroactively from the fact like, oh yeah, people thought you were weird, or people thought what you said was strange? If you've ever been told that and you felt like you needed to draw this line between the two yous, you're like, there's the me who's myself, and there's the me who I show the public. But what that does when we have two selves like that, a public and a private persona, is it shuts down our heart, because the heart doesn't know how to be multiple people. The heart only knows how to be what it is. And we've established that we're going to need your heart in order to help you self-regulate, in order to help you develop new habits and new behaviors and new routines that balance your life and honor all of the facets that are you. So we can't have, well, we can have whatever we want. Back that up. Don't let the little reader tell you what we can and can't have. You are a free agent in this world, my beautiful Father crew. But what Spirit is saying is that having a line drawn down the middle of your life where there's the private you and the public you is not helping anyone. Not the world and not you. So, let's journey away from a time when there were two yous, and let's look at uniting you. What it would mean to unite you. To have the ultimate success that you so richly deserve and are so worthy of, and which is in fact written into your destiny. It's simply a matter of stepping into the energetic quality of that individual who is whole. One of the medicines that Spirit is prescribing for you is collaboration. Collaboration with friends, with beloved people, with people that you respect. and beginning to develop a healthy respect for everyone. I don't know if you have ever identified yourself as judgy or picky, but Spirit is dropping both of those words into my brain or into my heart. Shoot, maybe one drop one into each one. Judgy into the brain and picky into the heart. And Spirit is saying, be a little less particular about who you find connection with. Because if there's any judgment or pickiness going on with the people we choose to spend our time with, that suggests there's some judgment and pickiness going on about the behaviors and qualities within ourselves that we choose to share and exhibit. It's often thought in many schools of psychology. I think Carl Jung was also a big proponent of this. I'm not saying we should worship psychology or Carl Jung. I'm simply saying that this observation might have value to you. The people in our lives are kind of like archetypes. And where we judge them, we can get a really good idea of what we're not a fan of in ourselves. So a great first step here, my beautiful father crew, is starting to hang out with some people, deliberately go out of your way to hang out and bond even with some people who you have judged as annoying long ago. If you still know them, it's a moment to reach over to your phone, text them, call them, and say, I could really go for dinner with you right now. And then treat them and hear what wisdom they have to offer. Look at them as like the wisest person in your life right now. Because by collaborating particularly with those who you have deemed as uncollaboratable, yeah, we made that one all the way up, as those you've deemed to be like, oh, just grinding the old, getting on the nerve, as some might say, those are the very ones who hold the key to your ultimate success. Those are the ones who get something about you that you're now ready to get about yourself. You are now ready to see, my beautiful father crew, things that you didn't see before. Spirit's like, you're about to up level so hard, you might be able to levitate when you're done. Say that tongue in cheek, but I'm really hopeful, so drop it in the comments if you manage it. There's just going to be a lightness about you because of the amount of integration that happens as a result of this event. So seek out those formerly annoying, now your new best friends connections. With the Six of Wands, this is how you begin to find that success. The High Priestess combined with the Page of Wands. Going into silent mode about what you think you know. You have incredible intellect, my beautiful father crew. It's sharp. Again, we see a line here. I feel your fiery energy in your hands. I feel like you have almost a sword-like intellect. You can slice something, maybe even a sharp tongue sometimes if you want to bust it out, like maybe you've made people cry. You've definitely made people cry before. By like just whipping out an observation that they maybe not ready for yet. In any case, here the advice is pause on that quality for a little bit. You know a lot. Your intellect is incredible. Your intuition is also strong. However, this is a time for learning. You've been reset to a past time. Here it is. We asked Spirit earlier, when was like the time in the past on the timeline when we shifted into this action, action, action productivity energy? Now we're being set back to that. It was a time when you learned that by being on the offensive, you could move things out of your way and get what you wanted. Could transcend and leap over obstacles. Spirit's like, okay, we're doing a little bit of a reset back to that point. You're back to learning mode. Because when you decided to take that action path out of necessity, my beautiful father crew, remember, this is not about blame, shame, or guilt. This is about purely taking ownership and empowering ourselves because you're so worthy of love and because you deserve all of your desires. This information has come to you to help you get there. So no blame, no shame. You did the best with what you had at that time to get where you needed to go. This is not a judgment at all. This is simply saying that was the strategy that was adopted. Now we're going back to get a new strategy. Because when we switched into do it all and know it all mode, we lost student mode. Because of your brilliant intellect, you may have thought you retained your ability to learn things, and you did. You can learn facts incredibly well. You're like a fact and trivia machine. You know so much. Irrespective of your education level, people probably almost always think you're highly educated or highly specialized or a genius. You've probably even heard it before. So yes, you have the ability to learn and assimilate info, but over here, Spirit is saying you lost the heart of a student for a time. The ability to truly learn from other people and reflect on yourself and adopt things you admired and truly let go of things you didn't. The heart of a student is what's going to get you back to this 10 of Pentacles. Monetary success, if that's what you want. That meaning financial. Relational success, if that's what you want. A position of favor in your community, once again, if that's what you want. But it can't be through this deceptive public persona approach. It must come from this heart-centered approach of, I truly know nothing. I truly know nothing. And irrespective of my intentions, good, bad, or neutral, I must begin to behave like a page again. And rather than assert myself and believe I know best, this is going to be a changing of the inner narrative of the mind, and recognize that you are young. You are new. You may have unnecessarily aged yourself up, my beautiful father crew. You may not even be a father or a parent. You could be like 17 or 16 or even 15. In your mind, however, you've aged yourself up to this position of like all-knowing wisdom. And you have all-knowing wisdom, my beautiful father crew. But it's in the heart, in a place that hasn't been tapped into in a good long while. The thing that you think is the all-knowing wisdom may not be. But you're about to get into that. It's going to happen quickly. You will have to extend patience to yourself as you really run toward this new persona. You will have to be patient with yourself, but the changes are going to happen relatively quickly. Because as you tap into that heart space, everything begins to come into balance. All of a sudden, all of the other chakras are in order. All of a sudden, your environment begins to mirror the order within you. This is an incredible opportunity, my beautiful father crew. And my goodness, I cannot wait to see what you do, who you become. The leader that is in you, the leadership energy, is going to resurface with so much more power and magnetism as a result of this I know nothing student phase. You may find interest in Stoicism and Stoic philosophy. For the part of me that resonates so deeply with this, Stoic philosophy has been a guiding light. I recommend @TheDailyStoic on Instagram as a great place to start. So my beautiful father crew, let's pop into the final stage of this journey, the path. As you can see on the tapestry, there's like, woo, little path going on right through here. Let's get to the end of our path, which is looking at any creative block that may be standing in the way, which animal we want to embody, which animal spirit, you could say. Any affirmations? There will certainly be at least one, because we all get an affirmation today. And any advice from Spirit? Thank you so much for being a courageous warrior, my beautiful Father crew. All of your doing, that's another message for you from Spirit. All of your doing has not been for naught. You're not being reset back to 0. And even if you were, evidently 0 is some sacred number. I didn't know that until right this second, but it's something. You're not being reset and you haven't lost any progress. You can get beyond where you were, what you thought was progress. You can skip far beyond that in less than half the time, just by intensely devoting yourself to this heart-centered path, to awakening the heart. It will catapult you far beyond where you were that you thought was like great. And it may have been great, and I applaud your work. Again, what is trying to be conveyed here is that you haven't lost anything truly. Instead, you've just opened a door for much more fulfillment, much more satisfaction, much more passion, and much more joy. So I applaud you for bravely taking this on and being who you are. Beautiful. Let's look at the creative block, if any. It may not be a block. This deck has all kinds of different potential messages. It could be a message about something to keep on keeping on doing, or it could illuminate an area that was previously in the dark. So Spirit, yeah, let's get the message. Then let's look at the animal archetype. You want to make sure that that's upright. The animal energy for my beautiful Father crew to move forward embodying. What is that energy for my beautiful Father crew to move forward embodying? And then let's take in some affirmations, please. Does that one want to come off the deck? Yeah. Let's take in some affirmations, or an affirmation. My beautiful Father crew can lean into any time that they feel they're slipping back into an old way of being, or they've gone unconscious for just a moment. Or they just need a boost, a reminder of who they are, the incredible being that they are. Oh, it's you. I love it. And then last, but certainly never least, the beautiful advice from Spirit. Oh, what's going on here? Advice from Spirit, please, Spirit. Whatever my beautiful Father crew needs to hear to align. Ooh, this awakened heart. Perfect. All right, I'm going to stretch out my leg. A stretch for our final stretch. Ooh, and naturally, it was a little difficult because one of my legs has not moved in a few hours. That's okay. Sometimes we're still, and then sometimes we move. So looking first here, darkness. Do not be afraid of the dark. Your eyes will adjust. And then you got 2 animal archetypes. Whoa, the panther, which I believe my comic crew received. This is a creature that's not afraid of the dark. And the frog. Fascinating, fascinating. Then for your affirmation, it's titled Awakening Inspired Action. And the affirmation is, there is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. There is only what life is asking of me. And then advice. Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? That's a really interesting question for someone who resonates with the Father, but it speaks so beautifully to the balance that is being established here in your energy system. Going from the Father to the Mother. What a beautiful transition. Warrior Woman. Also fascinating for an individual who resonated with the Father. This is a beautiful shift from that yang projective energy to this yin receptive energy. Throw away the genders. This isn't about becoming a woman if you're not a woman. And it's not about becoming a woman if you are a woman and don't identify as a woman or don't resonate with the woman archetype, if you will, or the mother archetype. This is simply about embracing this quality of energy, which is that which is soft, that which is yin, that which is receptive to receive, that which is quiet, that which is nurturing. So we can throw away all the standard vernacular and associations with matriarchy or patriarchy and instead simply focus on the energies that are here. We'll talk about this more when we get down to the advice. Get grounded. Yes, I believe this came up for my heart crew. And boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So let's start here in the darkness. Do not be afraid of the dark. Your eyes will adjust. So here is this concept of shadow work, and the Panther speaks to this. It's time to go into the dark and actively hunt for what has been hiding there. What are some subconscious ideas that have been internalized over time that have created this reliance on projective, action-oriented, fiery energy? And when we identify where in the dark this originated and where there are some hiding pieces that can be integrated. In other words, if you talk this out, if you talk it out potentially with a professional or with a therapist or with a coach, or if you talk it out with a mentor or a parent or a friend or a family member or even a child, although we don't want to seek therapy from our children, side note, but their insights as to our behavior can be very valuable sometimes. Whoever it is you choose, even a colleague or peer, if you talk it out and discover the origin of some of this, it can really help to integrate it, shine a light on it, and when you're conscious of it, change that behavior moving forward. For this work, you will adapt the energy of the Panther, which is that active nocturnal hunter going through the dark. But for this work, see, this is so beautiful to me. If we look at this Father card that you selected, this work, the Panther resonates with the right side of the card, colors-wise. It's essentially primarily black and white, but there's this glimmer of yellow and green here. And we see that on the other side. Then if you look at this frog, it's the other side. And it's like we're transitioning your entire persona into this private persona that you've always been. Instead of having the black and white, play by the rules for the public, and then the colorful, imaginative, some might say weird, but I wouldn't. If anything, I would applaud you if it's weird or could be deemed weird within the boundaries of what's consensual and legal. This energy is coming out to the fore, and you're integrating it as the frog, as your entire self. What's been inside is coming out. We see the entire color palette here on the left side of the card is in this frog. This frog has the ability to sit on the lily pad and wait for the fly to buzz by, and then the frog's kind of like Yoshi. That was my imitation of Yoshi's tongue move. When I say Yoshi, I'm referring to the character from Mario. Anyway, the frog is all about being receptive. Totally different element. The Panther, I believe, is the fire element. The frog, I believe, is the water element. Do I have the book? Let's confirm with the author on that, because it seems like an important distinction to make to really drive this point home. Yes, this is the fire symbol for the panther. And then for the frog, yes, it is water. Wow, that's awesome. It totally goes in line with this shift here, because father energy can be perceived as very fiery and mother energy can be perceived as very watery. So in our journey to balance the scales, which is this beautiful journey that you're on, my beautiful father crew, it is transforming. You use this last of your fire to ruthlessly hunt out, but in a respectful way, hunt through the darkness for remnants of unloved pieces, to incorporate them, to heal them. And then you shift to this watery frog archetype, to hop around from lily pad to lily pad and to be exuberant and colorful and beautiful. I believe the frog even has access to DMT. That is a psychedelic that's kind of renowned in this psychedelic entheogen community for, although I don't think the psychedelic community actually likes the term entheogen, so redacted. But that community, I believe, and not just that community, but many cultures refer to the frog as a sacred creature for having access to this substance that can generate these psychedelic, extremely colorful, out-of-body, imaginative experiences that people bring back to the real world, not real, but third-dimensional world, to share with all this knowledge and insights. So you may find yourself to be developing in this new version of you, my beautiful father crew, an imaginative, colorful, artistic, if you've never dabbled in art, artistic. And if you have dabbled, maybe it's not going to be dabbling anymore. Maybe you're going to throw yourself into it and begin using it as a vehicle for getting closer to the divine. Yes, that is what I see for you, my beautiful father crew. That suddenly there's this eruption of artistic, psychedelic, colorful, watery energy pouring out of your heart. I even see this water raining on this frog, pouring onto this frog. You're a creature of the water now, my beautiful father crew. This is your initiation. Wow. And in that, you have this recognition that there is only what life is asking of me. There doesn't have to be more. There doesn't have to be this hyper active or hypoactive, when it's not one extreme, it's the other, way of life. It can instead be this beautifully balanced scale of peace. And that's going to happen by mothering yourself, by embracing this warrior woman. Interestingly, the warrior speaks to fire, but the woman and the mother, again, putting gender aside, speak to archetypes of softness, nurturing, getting cozy, self-care, feelings and emotions, poetry. This getting grounded, spending time in nature, developing meditation. The more you align with the divine, my beautiful father crew, the easier it's going to be to balance these energies, and the easier it's going to be to activate your heart as the control center for your energetic body. I promised it to my heart crew, and I promise it to you as well. A link in the description that speaks to this heart meditation called The Breath of Life by Spirit Science. And it has these 4 mantras. I love myself. I trust myself. I honor myself. I value myself. It's a very powerful meditation, and it can help activate this heart for you. And then finally, boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? As you tap into this yin, watery, creative, not imaginary, but you might think it's imaginary. It's not, my beautiful father crew. Soon it will be very real indeed to you. As you tap into that, it'll be essential to create boundaries that protect your energy. And I think you know something about that with that desire to go into hermit mode sometimes, but this is not that. This is instead creating micro boundaries throughout your days so that you never exceed your energy limit and so you never need to totally pull yourself away and self-isolate. An example of that is instead of going to 5 social gatherings in a week and then needing 2 weeks to recover, it's going to 3 social gatherings in a week and leaving promptly at 8 p.m. so you can make your 9 p.m. bedtime every time. That's just a micro example. Ultimately, my beautiful father crew, you are this incredibly powerful being whose gift for leadership, for establishing strong communities, for bringing people together, for creating moving art once you tap into this emotional, watery side of yourself and let it pour out of you like Niagara Falls. There's nothing you can't do, be, or experience or feel. And you may have given up on feeling certain feelings that you felt in childhood or certain feelings of magic that you can just remember, but they're not so there. You will feel those again. And I'm so very excited for you because you, above all else, deserve love. And I'm sending you all the love I've got. Until we meet again, may you be you. Because who you are, the truest essence of you, the wilder and weirder you become, the more beautiful. And we need you. With that, my beautiful father crew, I love you so much. And we'll talk again soon, I hope. Bye for now.